My name is Alix and I am an English Opens Doors program volunteer. I went to a small liberal arts college and I studied biology and history. Before I came to Chile, I taught at an outdoor educational school in the Tetons, close to Grand Teton National Park. And then I went back home for a little bit, worked as a waitress, and then I headed here. So I volunteered for an entire year, and I was placed in Iquique, Chile. The things that I really liked about the English Opens Doors program particularly were that it worked with public schools, which I was really interested in, and also that, there are definitely programs you can go and pay for to volunteer, and whereas obviously I'm not making money in this situation, I thought it seemed silly to pay extra to volunteer. So I like the fact that the English Opens Doors program does cover a lot of the costs associated. And I just really, the public school thing really drew my attention. It seemed also the fact that it was a program from the government of Chile, because I wanted to do something, I wanted to come and help in a way, if the government was asking for help, it makes it a lot more appealing to come in and work here. I've always wanted to learn Spanish, I'd like to teach, I'm gonna try this and see what happens. And I did, and I just ended up learning so much and growing so much from this experience. I'm just incredibly happy that I came. And that is not to say that my experience has been perfect in any way, because I would say there's been all sorts of things that weren't perfect or challenges that I've had to work through for sure, but just overall it's been an incredible experience. I would say that I've been overall incredibly impressed by the support that I've received. I think it can be difficult in Chile to get logistics figured out and make things happen, and I've been incredibly impressed by the communication that all the staff, all the program staff has just incredible communication the whole time. Every time I've needed something, I've sent an email, I've gotten a response back super quick. If I've called, I've been able to talk to someone. I've had several conversations during my year with members of the staff from English Opens Doors, and I've just felt very supported the whole time with every problem that I've had. I haven't run into a problem that I couldn't fix. I've just been really impressed, and especially from the beginning, from the moment I got here the first week, because it seems like the people who work for the program really care about it, which I think is the most important thing. I think that no training can really prepare you for the classroom situation, especially because the classroom situation varies so much by person. I was very pleased with the training at the time, and I think that when I first came into my first week working in the school, that I felt prepared enough to give classes, like a little bit nervous, but definitely prepared enough sort of with my formula of class that I was going to do and like how I was going to do it. It definitely gave me the confidence that I needed to continue. I think during my time teaching, I realized that there were ways that I could change things up a little bit to fit sort of the individual class experience. Oceanside community in the desert, the driest desert in the world. It never rains, it's sunny and beautiful all year, so that's pretty good. So in general, it's a city of about 200,000 people, so it's not a small town. You don't really necessarily get the feel that everyone knows you or anything. It's definitely more of a city living experience. That being said, you do realize eventually it's kind of a small place. And I was living with a family there who was really lovely, really open, made an effort to give me the food that I wanted, take care of me. Had a wonderful time, especially in the beginning, going to different events with them. They tried to be really welcoming, and I lived with two parents, and then my sister, who's 11 years old, and she's the sweetest person in the world, and I was so lucky to have known her. I feel so lucky. And we lived in an apartment next to the ocean, so directly overlooking the ocean. It's hard to beat that view every day. I think what I've learned mostly from having some experience traveling and being in different places in Chile is that the culture varies hugely. It's a huge, long country, and the culture in Iquique, this town in the city in the north, is just incredibly different from down south, or the central Chile. So I think what I've learned is about the diversity of Chilean culture. one thing I particularly like about about Iquique is that there's also people from other countries. So you just get this influence from all the countries around, from Peru, from Bolivia. And I think what I've really enjoy about Chile is that it has all of those different things. It has, you know, this wonderful seafood, maybe food from Peru, and then you get down to the central and it's more standard, traditional pastel de choclo and everything like that, and cazuela. And I like that variety. I really enjoy learning about all the different things. I have to start by saying that I think my school is kind of unusual. I only had about 200-something students in the school, and so I ended up teaching all of them, which was actually really amazing to have, because everyone in the school knew me. That was great. I didn't have that many students in each class, so that was really good. So I got to have classes with, I don't know, maybe probably like 10 to like 15, maybe a few more sometimes, but never really more than that. So that was incredible, because I know one of the most difficult things about teaching can be handling all the students at once. So it just made classroom management easier. It made it easier to get to know each of the students as well. In some ways, it was just more an intimate setting. So that was pretty amazing. Those interactions you have with the individual students, when you see that they really care about you and really care that you're there, yeah, that's really incredible. I think about this question a lot recently, because it's like the experience is ending. I think I was talking to another volunteer the other day, I think it was Bridget, and she told me that for her the experience was really opening. I think that's exactly what I would say as well. It's just been a really opening experience. I feel more open to new experiences. I feel more open to different ways of thinking, different ways of viewing the world. I feel more open as a person in terms of expressing my emotions, expressing how I feel. I think one thing about Chilean culture is that people tend to express many times that they're grateful for something or excited about something, and I think I've started to do that as well. But it's been really liberating, because it sort of lets me, sometimes in expressing those emotions, I realize how deeply I do feel them myself. So I think on a personal level, that's had a huge impact on me as well. Yeah, professionally, I've definitely I've experienced one type of teaching that I didn't experience before, and it's definitely had its ups and downs. It just depends on the week. I like all of the different things, you know, because I feel like in Chile, the biggest thing that I found was things change all the time. So you just have to be incredibly adaptable. That's probably another way that it's affected me personally. You just have to be incredibly adaptable all of the time. And so one week I'll be having a great week at school and just loving teaching, and the kids are great, they do what I ask and I don't know why. It's like the stars have aligned in the heavens. And the next week I'll just have a great time with my family, or maybe another week I'm kind of, I don't know, my family and I aren't getting along super well for some reason, but I just found like a sport that I really like to do. So I think it's all of those things. It's just depends. My experience in Chile was that things change all the time. You can't really, you always get new experiences, which is cool. So yeah, right now I'm headed, in a few days I'm headed to Machu Picchu to go exploring there a little bit, and then I'm heading back to Iquique, and I'm gonna live there until April. After that, I'm meeting up with some friends from my university, and we're biking back to the United States from, probably from Bolivia, maybe from northern Chile. Yet to be determined. I would say go for it. I think it depends on the kind of person, but I think whether you've read a little bit or a lot, it's not really going to help you prepare anymore for being here. So you might as well just, if you're interested in having a new experience, if you're interested in learning Spanish, if you're interested in just doing something different, I say that you should just do it. That's how I make decisions, though. If I think about it too much, I get confused. Just have to make it happen. I think this is advice that other people will probably give as well. I just think don't expect everything to be great. I had a lot of problems. I had problems with my school. I don't know, everything's not always easy. You get homesick, you know, you might be sick, there's things to work out. Don't expect everything to be perfect. That doesn't mean that the experience can't be amazing. You have to be incredibly flexible, and you just have to realize that you know, maybe you get 2 out of 3 really great things in your homestay, but there's too many variables to control everything. It's impossible to control everything, so just be really flexible and enjoy the really good things that you do have and make the other things work.